You're listening to the Microsoft Innovation Podcast, where we explore the intersection of people, business, and technology. This year, we're adding a new show to our lineup, The AI Advantage, to help you learn the skills you need to thrive in the AI era.
Welcome to the Ecosystem Show. We're thrilled to have you with us. Here we challenge traditional mindsets and explore innovative approaches to maximizing the value of your software estate. We don't expect you to agree with everything. Challenge us, share your thoughts, and let's grow together. Now, let's dive in. It's showtime.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ecosystem Show with myself, Will, and we are joined by the lovely Anna and Mark today. Unfortunately, our other friends are incredibly busy. One in South Africa, and where is Andrew, Anna?
Andrew is in the living room, looking very focused on something right now.
Okay, so Andrew is in deep thought, which he normally does. Exactly, he normally does on this show, but he's in deeper thought today.
And he's in Boston this week, right? You're in Boston.
He is. We are. That's where we are. We are in the US for the next 3 weeks.
International People Mystery. I love it.
Hunting fit in South Africa at the moment.
He is.
He is. For the AI tour.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So, we started off doing our usual preamble. We always start these shows about 30 minutes before we start recording because we end up chatting about something. And then we realize, actually, we should have hit record and got to it a lot sooner because the topic was interesting. And that topic was around routines and especially how you find time to fit health and how you schedule what time you get up, what time you go to bed, how you manage to fit that all in. And we touched on this before with work-life integration. But we're trying to get a little bit deeper now and understand, actually, Mark, what do you do for your routine? Anna, what do you do? What tech do you use to support that? What medicine do you take in regards to vitamins and health supplements? And, well, Mark's got a few interesting pieces that I don't know where we want to kick this off. Should we start in our morning routines, work our way through to the evening?
I decided to do something different. Like each year, I always try to go, I don't want to just repeat last year, right? I want to, a term that I like is the concept of life hacking and going, can I don't ever want to be static, right? I always want to be in a state of evolution. And because we are human, we have this incredible ability to think contextually outside ourselves and really understand why do we, if you want to, right, you can critically think about yourself and your processes and how you live your life. And so coming into this year, after doing a heap on social media last year, I decided to take a 12-month diet of social media. And what do I mean by that? I removed all the apps off my phone. And people, it's funny that when I've said this to folks in the last couple of weeks, and LinkedIn? Yep, and LinkedIn. Removed LinkedIn as well. And now that means I still have it on my desktop computer, but of course, it can't remind me. I'm not jumping in there. I'm not going I don't sit at my desktop computer all the time where I have my phone on me all the time. And so, why did I do that? Because a couple of reasons. I really wanted to get into meat, like a full meal in the content I consumed in 2025, because I feel like I'm in a race, and the race is with myself, to learn as much as I can, as deep as I can on the practical application of AI. I just think it's going to be, I saw a quote the other day. They said, people are saying AI is overhyped. The quote was, the person, I can't even remember who said it. And it was, I'm pretty sure it's from a university in the US. And he was like, if you took the current commentary about AI that's in the market and you 10x that commentary, you still wouldn't be close to actually how big this is and how important it is going to be in our lives. So in other words, he was saying it's not overhyped, it's underhyped. Okay. And so for me, I am in this massive absorption phase. And so a couple of things I changed in my life this year, because my children have now got to an age that they sleep through the night, I decided to go back to a habit I had in London, which is getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning and be a 5 a.m. starter of my day. And my routine is this. I get up. The first thing I do is I have a glass of water and I put a teaspoon of Celtic sea salt in that water and I drink it. And the reason is there's a lot of evidence that, treated salt, like Celtic sea salt, which has over 80 minerals in it, is incredibly powerful for your body. I grew up on a dairy farm where you always used to have what was called a salt lick in the paddock for the cows, and the cows would go and lick that block of salt, which had molasses in it, but it was predominantly salt, a mineral block. And the reason is they were seeking the minerals that their body needed that wasn't in the pasture. And if ever you wanted to fatten a cow up for sale, all you would do was remove the mineral block from the paddock, because then the cow would overeat trying to seek the minerals from its diet that its body needed. Why do we have an obesity epidemic around the world? Is because a lot of it is a mineral deficiency. Now, I'm not an expert on this. This is just what I'm applying to me. And so that mineral deficiency, so I've been taking Celtic sea salt, as I say, 5 in the morning. And here's the other little thing, that because a lot of you will go, yeah, but, medicine tells us and science tells us and that this will be bad for your heart and your arteries and it'll do all these different things. Well, as I say, I very specifically said it's Celtic sea salt I take. And tell me what happens when you have an accident and go to hospital, right? What's the first thing they put in your arm?
The beautiful clear bag.
They put a saline drip in your arm. They pump you full of salty water. If it was that bad, why was the first line of defense, before they've worked out what's wrong with you if you're sick, or they put saline into you, right? Because your body runs on electricity, right? We're an electrical being, and saline helps conductivity. So it helps your neurons, your brain fire, all that kind of stuff. So that's one thing I do. The second thing I do is have a 200 ml glass of water, and I add a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Tastes foul, horrible. One of the bad effects that some would say would be that it can erode the enamel on your teeth. And so that triggers another habit. I then go to the bathroom and I brush my teeth, right? So those are 3 things happen. And then I settle in for an hour of solid reading new books. I've already nailed 5 books for the year and on to my next. And I'm going deep. I'm reading everything I can, particularly not technically about AI, but really much more of the thought leadership. How does it apply to business? How does it apply to our personal lives? And last year, I read this paper by Dario Amodei, right, who's the founder. With his sister, he founded Anthropic. And he wrote it, The Machines of Love and Grace, how AI could transform the world for the better. And I love it because he's a deep thinker. I've watched a 3-hour podcast of him on it. And what's brilliant about this, one of the 5 areas he delves into is the neuroscience and the mind, yourself, not abstract out there, but how does it apply to you? And biology and health is another section. And so here's like, you need to understand your own body health and composition. And so like the other thing I take, just to give you an example, I'll show you one here. Here's my daily vitamins that I'll take at midday. Now, these vitamins I have built up over time as I've understood my body as to what I take. Vitamin D, I take, fish oil and a multivitamin. I take a very specific type of magnesium, and I take lion's mane, which is actually derived from, lion's mane is a mushroom. And this is all for brain, cognitive. And the other one I have there is turmeric. I take 3 capsules of turmeric because, once again, so much evidence about how it helps your defense system. So, but after reading Machines of Love and Grace, I created my own GPT-4 Mark, and I input all the quantities, the types of stuff I'm taking, and I ask, and I get the AI to really understand me and say, listen, are there any gaps in the supplements that I take? And it also suggested the times of day that I should take them for maximum absorption, which is what you're really going for. You don't want to, as Will said before the show, take your vitamins in the wrong way, that you're just creating a very expensive piss, right? By letting it flush through your system. I can't believe you said that, Will. Anyhow, that's my morning routine. I know I've had a bit of a monologue there, but Anna, what about you?
So I find that fascinating and frankly hard work. Like, it's hard work to have all of that, the routine and the discipline. And I think discipline is something really interesting for many people. And I think discipline is something that you can exercise when your tank is full, when your glass is full, right? So I am just, fairly recently, I've started to have a healthier way of living, partially because my child also started sleeping through the nights recently. So without sleep on an empty tank, really, really hard to really do anything. But what I do right now, I have discovered within myself that I am not an early riser. I've tried to wake up early, which for me is like 6 a.m., definitely not 5. And it just doesn't work. I cannot focus. I focus much better towards the end of the afternoon. Actually, that's my golden hour. So I wake up, and I take thyroid medicine. I have hypothyroidism. So then after that, I drink a lot of water. I think I drink like 2-3 glasses of water, but I'm now looking into that Celtic salt and the cider vinegar, right? Like, why not? And I cannot eat or consume caffeine for an hour to 90 minutes after I take my medicine for complete absorption. Now that obviously enforces a healthy habit of not having caffeine straight away. So then I have like a coffee, and for a long time last year, I did not have breakfast because I felt like, most people kind of skip breakfast, do like an intermittent fasting type of thing, and everybody raves about it and that it's really, really healthy. However, there aren't many studies made on women. We don't really know how women's bodies react to intermittent fasting. So for me, I eat in the morning, and it really helps me. It helps me from snacking at night, actually. So another myth that was going on was that you can eat too much protein. I now eat a lot more protein than before, and I feel much better. So 2 eggs instead of 1, in the morning, or like cottage cheese instead of cereal, things like that. Take my child into nursery, and I try to have to set like 3, I wouldn't say big goals, but just 3 things in a day that I'd like to achieve. And yeah, and that's it. I am much more of a beginner when it comes to, healthy lifestyle and routines and things like that. But I do feel that it's okay. It's okay like this as well, as you're building that discipline, every day. And vitamins. I also take vitamins. I take magnesium, fish oil, and I take like an active complex that contains vitamin D and folic acid and stuff like that. Nothing fast like a girl. Yeah.
I like it. As in, I just shared on screen Fast Like a Girl, and my wife is currently reading this because, as Anna said, there's a massive difference. The number of hormones females have to males. Like, should you fast on the week of your period or the week prior to your period? This lady, this doctor has really broken this down in detail. And what we're talking about is a lifestyle, not a diet. It's not a one-off. It's not a one and done, that type of thing. And by the way, none of what we're giving is medical advice. We're just doing what we do for ourselves based on what we've learned ourselves.
To survive our lives, right? Our super busy lives with crazy jobs and small children. What about you, Will?
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I'm in absolute admiration of you both. Mine's a case of I'm great at testing things. So let me walk through what my routine. I was going to say journey because it is more of a journey for me because there's a lot of ups and downs, and I'll explain that in a moment. We always talk about how great all this can be, but there's a couple negatives to applying it for, especially people like myself, scatterbrained and a bit more mental. I'm trying the digital detoxing, and that's really, really helped. So I have this app called Minimalist. And what it does is, I think we referred to gamification before in an early podcast, and we spoke about NeuroI or hooked mechanism of social media engagement, where you'd get a trigger, which is like a notification, a trigger. You'd then engage, you'd act, and then you'd invest. So that would be like Facebook. Anna's uploaded a new picture with Mark. So I go, oh, that's interesting. So I click on that, and then you're both at the bar. And the moment I then comment on it, I've done an investment. So the next time I get a notification from it again, I'm more than likely to then click. And you start getting that routine, you get hooked, and all of a sudden, and it's a good test this, when you're waiting at a bar on your own or a restaurant or 15 minutes in between a meeting or something, what do? You pick up your phone and you have no idea. And then you go to one of the colourful apps and you click on it. Minimalist removes that framework altogether. It does not show you the notifications on apps that are not deemed important. And by proxy and by default, all the other social media apps are gone. If you do want to open a social media app, it makes you wait to think if you want to, and then you have to select how long you wish to use it for.
Wow.
If you can block it in the morning, you can block it and this has really worked for me for the last couple of weeks. It's the entire UI is completely standard. It's black and white. You have your favorite apps on the front page. You're not adding any social media apps there. And if you do, it really makes you think about it. You feel like you're getting a bit told off by your mum. It's quite good. And then everything else is just incredibly basic. And that has helped me to no end. I mean, it's incredibly boring, but it's functional. It works. It doesn't change any of the apps. It just changes the way you engage and the way you're notified and triggered to engage. So you have to make it as a conscious effort. So that's helped me a ton, and I've noticed improvements in my sleep through that as well. My morning isn't a 5 a.m. start. I'm more of a late person going to bed, so I get up a little bit later. Late for me is about 7 a.m., sometimes 6, 7. I'm awful at sleeping, but I've always sort of slept for about 6 to 7 hours every night. Have a coffee, and my favorite thing at the moment, I was saying this to Anna and Mark beforehand, one of my favorite things at the moment for breakfast is I spend a lot of time in Slovakia and that sort of Central European place, and I just love they always eat these like big peppers, like paprika peppers and cucumbers and tomatoes. Great, the English guys discovered vegetables, but yeah. I really have. Yeah. And boiled eggs and some salt, and that's what I have, and I love it, and I can't get enough of it. I'm just eating eggs and peppers and salt every day, and it is just amazing. But the big thing for me is unless I have my environment set up appropriately, I just forget to do it. And so one thing I'm doing at the moment is where one of the rooms in the house, I'm just kitting out with a full gym. So I got the Peloton, bicycle. I've got the Peloton tread coming in, and I shared this with Mark the other day. I've got this something called Speedience. So check it out. It is a bit of I'll refer to it as a bit of a luxury purchase, but I do think it's one of those things where you just need, and it is a complete at-home gym, and the innovation is insane, focusing mainly on weights, lifting from legs to arms to back to everything to abs. Check it out. We'll drop a link because it is phenomenal. And then on top of that, ensuring that when I open the fridge and I'm running in between meetings, I'm trying to make lunch, etc., that the food's set up correctly there. So actually, I've re-signed up to HelloFresh, and that's just been phenomenal. Just having those sort of structured, pre-packaged ingredients to cook really nice meals with, being a game changer. So that, coupled with the breakfast, and then just soup for lunch, I've noticed works really well.
Nice.
And those staple meals then stops me from snacking. And if I do snack, I will.
Another Central European influence there with the soup for lunch. That's what I ate my entire life.
You're absolutely right. It is entirely her influence, and it helps a lot because when I do want to snack, I just make sure it's consciously snacking. It's not just going to the cupboard and grabbing anything. It's going, right, what do I actually need that's going to fill me up? And then just some Actimel for a probiotic. And then I take Vital. So we're all big fans of our vitamins, it sounds like. Vital, I've shouted about a few times from Mark, etc. They come pre-packaged. You do a bit of a health quiz. You can also then send off a blood sample, and they'll tailor your vitamins to your needs. And I found them really useful. Drink an excessive amount of water all the time. Always been like that's been my only good habit I do bring to the table. And then trying to get work done properly. So I struggle a lot with my workload and work schedule, and I think it's okay to admit that. I don't think enough people admit it. And actually knowing to stay on top of it and actually responding to things quicker and straight away. I'm trying this year rather than just put them to one side and prioritizing relationships more.
Yeah.
So you'll notice, Mark, I've reached out to you more than I probably ever have before. And I'm trying to chat to you more, and same with Anna, and trying to focus sort of the effort around that. And then the last few things is knowledge consumption. So journals, online sites, Blinkist I find really useful. So being able to digest a book in 15 minutes, Audible and paper books. But this is all good if you can be.
Just on that reaching out, is there any chance that you could reach out via WhatsApp rather than Grindr?
No. I mean, we met that way, Mark, and we're going to stay that way, my friend. Yeah, no. I'm quite the community on that.
This is insane.
But swiftly moving on. This is already good, but I do have ADHD. I was diagnosed as a kid. I've carried it through my adult life, and it is something that I do struggle with. I go from being really intense to being down here, and being consistent is tough, especially in our roles and especially in our lifestyles. We move around a lot. I mean, Anna, you and I move around an awful lot, so making sure your lifestyle is portable with you is the key thing, I find.
So true.
The last thing I want to leave us with, though, is Brian Johnson. So if you want to see what extreme looks like, if there's a Netflix documentary called Don't Die, those in the tech space would have heard of Brian Johnson before, and he's a venture capitalist now, but he's taken this to an extreme where he's trying to reverse aging, and he's trying this protocol called longevity. We can share a link for that. He has a site where he publishes all his data and what he does. I mean, I'm not advocating that. I think any of us should take it to that extreme because it is his life is just that now.
Yeah.
But really interesting to see what he does.
Sam Altman's also been talking the last week or so about an LLM they're running on aging and what makes us age and the interesting things that it's finding in there. And I've always, the movie Benjamin Button appeals to me. I was saying before we came on air, like Anna last year at Dynamics Minds got me onto this Oura Ring, and it's quite different than, my Apple Watch, in that what Oura Ring really does is just monitor, and it just allows you to get feedback by monitoring what you're doing, and across kind of 3 or 4 key areas, which are how much you're moving in your daily, how much you're sleeping, and
how well
exactly. And my kids have been away for the last 2 nights with their grandma, and I've had 2 solid nights sleeps, and
it's magical.
I've hit the
I
crown.
think you look a bit younger right now.
Sleeping, and I feel like, wow, I am Superman. But one of the things like cardiovascular aging, like as in I was 2 years ahead of my actual age, and now I've got that right back in alignment and dropping. I've added, so Meg and I do 3 days a week. We go walking together, which, by the way, put the health benefits aside, the relationship benefits, and there's been studies done on this, as through the roof, just walking together with your partner and just being able to chat and things like that has been amazing. When I say walking, we've got 3 mountains around us. We climb to the top of those mountains and back. So like Monday's legs day, because I climb over 100 steps on this mountain trail. And so it's a real solid workout, gets the heart rate up. But once again, the effect that it's having on my health by walking these 3, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays has been off the Richter scale, just beneficial. And so we've done that consistently since the start of the year. And I mean, what we're only up to, are we week 3 yet of the year? It's coming in week 4, right? And but yeah, it's just, I am pumped about this year. It's just, I am so excited.
Dynamics Minds is one event you don't want to miss. Microsoft product managers and industry leaders from all over the world converge in Slovenia to explore the latest in Dynamics 365, the Power Platform, and Copilot. Expect 3 days of in-person community connection, trailblazing insights, and a location sure to inspire our creativity. Early bird tickets are on sale now, and podcast listeners get 10% off by registering via the link in the show notes. Hope to see you there.
Another thing that the Oura Ring does, because I started this, and is for girls, because the Oura Ring, fun fact, was actually developed for women. Not many devices out there have been developed for women and studied for a woman's biology, but these have been initially built for fertility tracking. So they track your menstrual cycle. But what that means is that it will tell you, if your energy levels are low, why are they low? If you maybe should take a nap, if you didn't sleep well, what should you do, and things like that. And it's really, really helpful because, of course, it's not helping you. Like, your day is still your day. You still have, today I've had, it's 3:35 p.m. in the US. I've done 8.5 hours of meetings today already. So it's nothing's going to help you with that. You need to do the things that you need to do, right? But at least you understand it. At least you're not, I feel like so many of us are like on this guilt trip that we're not doing enough, that we're not learning enough, that we're not, and not many people are in competition with themselves, as you very healthily are, Mark. A lot of us are actually in competition with our peers, with other people. I don't know, Will's, for example, younger than me, and he's a CTO at a big firm. Like, he's done so much more.
Older. It's amazing.
but like, it's tempting, but I feel like it gives you a bit of confirmation and help within your own mind that you're still doing well, and so on and so forth. Because and sometimes, for example, I've tried to implement the hour walk 3 times a week as well. It just hasn't worked, because in the end, I figured out that I really need that hour to work. It's hard.
Wow.
Like I said, discipline is very, very hard.
But I love something you said there, Anna, and it's just a soundbite that just keeps playing in my head. And it just passed you by, which a lot of yours do, which is why we love you. But you said something, which is, but your day is still your day. And what that equates to me is, it's got to be sustainable. It's got to fit into your life. So we talk about work-life integration. We talk about all this stuff, but Mark's routine's never going to work for you. No. And to be honest, you're probably already up at 5 a.m. occasionally with Alex, etc. Anyway, so it's all good.
I am, but then I go back to sleep. Like, I was up at 4:45 today, and I thought it was awful. And like, I convinced her to go back to sleep, right? And then I went to sleep for another hour, because otherwise I felt like I could just not deal with my day. And that's okay. So if you're reading all of these articles that, you need to start at 5 a.m. and straight with a walk outside and look into the sun, but that you've got toddlers, or actually you're on a long work journey, towards your customer, and then that you're just about to be fed, sandwiches with like tuna and sadness and crisps, and you're not going to be able to sustain a healthy diet, and maybe you've forgotten your vitamins at home. It's okay. You can start again tomorrow,
Totally.
Your day's your day.
That's the thing. Yeah, your day's your day.
And it's interesting what Anna said there. Understand what's called your chronotype. Your chronotype is basically where you're in flow. Chick Mahai had a whole book on the importance of how you can be more productive in flow, as in opposed to also identifying when you're out of flow, and therefore stop doing what you're doing, because you're probably not going to be in your sweet spot. But it's interesting, because one of the things that Oura Ring is showing me, I'm an early morning chronotype. And just because I am doesn't mean you are. And I go back to, you need to understand you. You need to build your, if you're using AI, build it in context of you. Create your own chat GPT for you and understand your vitals, your health, etc. Now, I'm less than 10% in the people in the world, or people on Oura Rings, less than 10% actually are in that chronotype. So don't try and be me, don't try and be Anna, don't try and be Will. find your thing that works for you is what's really critically important. That's why I don't buy into diets. That's why I don't feel like what I'm doing is a diet, because there's no label. There's no one thing that I'm doing. It's a range of things. But it's been beneficial. I've dropped 15 kgs in weight. I'm feeling more healthy than I ever have. Mm-hmm. I'll probably drop another 10 this year. I've already dropped 3 since the first of this month.
Well, our community is going to love you then, Mark, from what you said earlier.
What's that? What's that?
I won't go.
Yeah. You got it. I'm getting all ripped so I can go to the beach in my Speedos. Attract all the men's. I'll leave this thought with you. Buying a couch for a homeless person is an interesting quote. Anna and I were in a session yesterday. Yeah. Did you have the quote, Anna, or was it
Yeah, I said it. I said it, but it came from Andrew, actually.
Yeah, buying a couch for a homeless person. It's brilliant. Tell us the story.
Andrew was talking about, and we were talking about this thing earlier in the week where I kind of said, listen, your environment is an incredibly important factor in your life. Like it's really getting you through the grinder. Like no matter what, there you go. No matter what and how much you want to change your life, your environment is going to affect you a lot. And translating that into technology is your technology environment is going to affect you a lot. Like there's no point in you wanting to do AI and Copilot and so on if all of your data is, in Excel spreadsheets and on people's desktops and in SharePoint and all over the place, right? It's just not going to work. So then later that day when Andrew and I had a conversation with a customer and they were trying to push for AI, at some point, he was just so exasperated. He was like, listen, if you're going to install an AI product over the top of no databases, it's like buying a couch for a homeless person. It's going to be dangerous. Just don't do it. Yeah. And I thought it was a great...
It's a good analogy, right? It's really...
Yeah. It really is.
Because then we're in a client meeting all together while running a workshop, and that whole concept of sometimes AI being forced down our throats into areas that, hang on, you're not ready, you don't have the environment for it, and we're saying, but you need.
Yeah, I think we're all experiencing that at the moment, but that's what happens when you get the buzz, right?
Yeah. Hey, it's been epic talking to you. I know that Anna and I are specifically 12 minutes late for another appointment. It's chirping on the other monitor while we're in the meeting. Guys, it's been epic once again to chat with you, hang out with you.
Really enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it.
It's been really good. I really hope that this is. I really hope that this is useful for people. For me, it's really inspirational to talk to people like you, Mark, and you, Will, because everybody. I'll just speak to myself. You look like super successful people. And at some point, it can almost feel unachievable. So I think that sharing what we do every day is valuable. So thank you.
No, that's and likewise, to be honest, Anna. Come on, you once said to me when I said, "Oh, Anna, another great quote from Anna." She has loads, and sorry, I know we're trying to wrap this up, but it's important we get this across. I said, Hannah, when she was coming into Curve, I said, "You really have it all, don't you? You've managed to achieve it all." And she said, "Well, I haven't got it all, but I'm trying to get most." And I'm like, I'm a mum, I'm working full time in a really successful high-end career. And I was like, "Gosh, she's done it all, she's got it all." She's like, "No, but I'm trying to get most." And I love that as well. So remember that. All right, cheers all. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning into the Ecosystem Show. We hope you found today's discussion insightful and thought-provoking. And maybe you had a laugh or two. Remember, your feedback and challenges help us all grow. So don't hesitate to share your perspective. Stay connected with us for more innovative ideas and strategies to enhance your software estate. Until next time, keep pushing the boundaries and creating value. See you on the next episode.
Are you ready to accelerate your career in the Microsoft ecosystem? The 90-Day Mentoring Challenge, created by Mark Smith, is your opportunity to create a personalised pathway to success. Join over 1,200 alumni from more than 70 countries who have achieved remarkable results, from promotions to new job opportunities. Take it from Nathan, who said, "Since completing the 90-Day Mentoring Challenge, I've become an MVP in business applications and doubled my income." Or from Parvez, who shares, "I've never felt as inspired or energized about my career as I do now." Sign up at arcor.nz365guide.com. You can find the link in the show notes. And if you use the code podcast, you'll get 10% off.